everyone, and welcome to yet another session of our MSME Masterclass. Today's discussion focuses on a critical but often overlooked driver of industrial performance: inspection. While organizations invest heavily in equipment, materials, and project execution, many reliability failures, safety incidents, cost overruns, and unplanned shutdowns can often be traced back to gaps in testing, inspection, and quality assurance. In industrial environments, the ability to identify risk early and prevent failures before they occur is increasingly becoming a competitive advantage. To help us explore this topic, we are delighted to welcome Mr. Shaleen Vaid, founder of Offshore Testing and Inspection Services, OTIS. With more than 3 decades of experience in industrial testing, inspection, calibration, and failure analysis, Mr. Vaid has worked extensively across sectors including steel, manufacturing, process industries, pipelines, and infrastructure projects. Through his work, he has helped organizations strengthen reliability, improve safety standards, and reduce operational risk across critical industrial assets, and projects. OTIS is a NABL accredited organization recognized for its expertise in testing, inspection, and quality assurance services. Over the years, the company has supported industries in improving operational performance through specialized capabilities in non-destructive testing, corrosion studies, calibration, condition assessment, and failure investigation. Mr. Vaid brings in practical understanding of how preventive inspection, quality control, and engineering discipline influence asset life, equipment reliability, project efficiency, and long-term operating costs. His experience proves valuable insight into why failures occur, how they can be detected early, and what organizations can do to improve reliability before issues escalate into costly disruptions. In today's session, he will share practical perspectives on how inspection-led approaches can help MSMEs reduce rework, minimize downtime, improve project execution, and build more reliable industrial operations. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shaleen Vaid to the MSME Masterclass. Welcome, sir. We're pleased to have you with us today.
Same over here, lady.
So our first question on today's topic to you is, why are inspection failures still one of the leading causes of project delays, rework, and cost overruns in industrial projects?
See, when you talk about the rework, the inspection is not treated as a process growing thing. Inspection is majorly taken as a checkpoints into the system. So generally, it is taken in the last thing. It is not started in the process, beginning of the process. So for inspection or completing of the project, they will take inspection as a last thing. They will not take it into the process. Because of that, the reworks happens because there are lots of lapses, choosing of the material, choosing of, you could say, perfecting the designs, and understanding the environment of the place, process delays, weldings, everything. They will shortcut it to complete the project. So because of that, there is a problem where the inspection is taken in the last point. It is taken as a checkpoint, ending checkpoint. If it is taken from the day one, hands and gloves, without thinking that somebody is sitting on our head, and it is collaborated together, then it works seamlessly, and then the rework will not happen. But the industry doesn't take it. For certain examples, your project is getting delayed, the designs have come in late. So what happens? You start cutting shots. The inspection of materials would be not done, designs would be not checked, dimensions would be not taken care of. Lapses of projects will be taken care of. So once the lapses happens, dimensions are not checked, designs are not checked, raw material is not checked. So these things start happening. And then the rework will come in. Because of these failures, the cost will go up, the project delay will happen. So you can't stop this till the time they start integrating inspection from the day one, rather than taking it as an enemy, taking as a friend. And then everything becomes easy.
Got it. And so how can MSMEs shift, from reactive quality checks to a more proactive reliability assurance?
See, for these, the MSME can move from detection to defective preventive, you could say, is implementing of inspections like we call it as ITPS, that is called as inspection testing plans can be done so that the process becomes a considering the risk-based inspection which very less time happens in the industry. Using calibrated instruments. Then you can talk about introducing vendor inspections when only vendor inspection only happens once the auditor asks. Otherwise, they don't do it. Then you could say performing of root cause analysis of the failure in the earlier projects. Nobody is ready to do that. If they do these things, tracking of recurring defects, why it is happening because of vendor or instrument failure, or you could say other defects are there. They need to understand what earlier projects had the failure. The major thing is using NDT and conducting assessment techniques that has to be implemented so that the major failure of welding or fabrication is detected on the earlier stages.
Understood. And according to you, sir, tell us what are the most common inspection gaps, that repeatedly lead to equipment failures and execution issues?
See, majorly what I have found is, as I mentioned earlier also, improper identification of the raw material, poor welding inspections, dimensions, misdimension checkings, you can talk about inadequate corrosion monitoring, which happens, then lack of calibration controls, unified installation of tolerances. They don't understand the tolerances in the design or something happens. Incomplete documentation, that is the major part when the projects get delayed. Failure to inspect critical suppliers. Identifying the critical suppliers sometimes takes major downtime and affects the projects. So, small quantity escapes during the fabrications, and this creates a bigger chunk ahead.
And so moving on, tell our attendees, why do seemingly minor defects, often become major reliability problems after decommissioning?
See, after commissioning, the major thing is vibrations are not being checked because of the earlier failures. Vibrations are there, then pressure cycles are not taken care of, thermal expansions are there, corrosion, failure, fatigue loading, and many other reasons are there. Misalignments, corrosion pits. So this is all related to the fabrication and the designing part. So this makes a shutdown of a project, and the safety is a problem in it. So seamlessly, you can say these small effects create a bigger chunk into the industry. So these are coming problem after commissioning what comes up.
Got it. And how can inspection programs, improve the project outcomes without significantly increasing, the operational costs?
See, the inspection is the time you start the project, the inspection starts from the day one, from the scratch, from the designing of the project, from sorting of the raw material. If this, you could say inspection is taken as an investment and not as an expenses, then your reduced rework will be there, fewer delays would be there, low warranty claims would be there, improved safety would be there, which is the major crux. Then you can say higher equipment availability will be there, and reduced life cycle cost will be there. So these all things will, you could say, cost preventive and a type of typical far lower, and a cost of failure would be there in it, if you see.
Okay. And what inspection checkpoints should never be skipped, during manufacturing, fabrication, and installation activities?
See, critical checkpoints, if we talk about critical checkpoints into manufacturing, then it is like, you could say, material identification in fabrication, incoming of material inspection, which majorly creates a problem. Dimension verification is required. Process monitoring is required when the raw material comes in, checking of the certifications, everything. Process monitoring is majorly important. Then calibration checks are there. So these points are there majorly required for the manufacturing part. While the fabrication part comes in, then the welding becomes a major checkpoint. The welding inspection becomes major point. NDT examination becomes a major checkpoint. Pressure testing of hydro test or other kinds of pressure testings, that is majorly required. coating inspection is required, because these all things are required for a fabrication. Your welding, NDT, pressure testing, coating testing, because at the end the finished product is dependent onto that. And then when we come up to the installation part, then the alignment checks has to be there, because the finished product has to be aligned. Top verification has to be there. Then functional testing has to be taken care of it, so that there is no other commissioning inspections required. So once all these points are taken care, then the commissioning becomes easy. And if you skip any of these parts, then inspection, you could say, significant increase of project risks will become.
Understood. And moving on, sir, how can MSMEs use inspection data to reduce recurring failures across projects?
See, inspection, you could say, they have to analyze majorly data. So from the previous project, if they start analyzing the defect trends, which they have done it on earlier projects, or which they are planning, it will come ahead. Then suppliers' performance is majorly important in these kind of environment. Failure patterns, they have to record it into their systems, which will help them. Root causes of all the earlier failures or delays, the failure root causes have to be identified, and see to that the repeat of no process which has happened earlier will give them a much better process ahead. So this will, you could say, in these all kind of records will help to reduce the failures if they take care of these things like defects. You're talking about suppliers, failure patterns, root cause, not repeating the earlier mistakes. So this helps them ahead.
So you mentioned about suppliers' role in this process. Tell us, what role do suppliers and vendor inspections play in improving the overall project reliability?
See, vendors inspection is very much important for all these, let it be for fabrication, let it be for manufacturing, because material confirmation has to come from there, the quality has to come from them, the compliances and the specifications come from them, and then timeless identification of new material and better material have to be done from their end, and as well as we have to keep ourselves updated. So in this scenario, you could say the suppliers, vendors inspection is majorly required to identify all these things.
And how can early stage inspections help prevent expensive rework later in the project life cycle?
See, I will talk from my experiences. Design deviations majorly takes part, because the designer who's sitting there will not know what is happening on the ground level. What are the challenges? They will decide it on to this. But when it comes for the manufacturing part or the fabrication part, the design deviation majorly creates a delay. That is one thing where rework comes in. Then material mismatch. The designer has asked for a certain material which is not available in our country. Then that becomes a problem. Then fabrication errors, while you could say while we are doing welding or cutting, something goes wrong, welding and suddenly the electricity goes down, or there's some kind of a problem comes in. So these issues are there, which fabrication errors are there. And majorly what I have seen is the calibration errors. Majorly what I have seen when the designs come in, we are still not developed to the high precise, you could say, of measurements. Now slowly and suddenly everybody is coming precise. So earlier there was a huge tolerance we used to be given. Now slowly suddenly the tolerance is going out. India is coming up to a pressure where we are precise with our measurements now. So in that case, calibration takes a major part.
So tell our attendees, what are the hidden business costs of inadequate inspection practices?
See, beyond from the repair costs or organization faces is the schedules of overruns. You can say contract penalization, which majorly happens, reputation damage, then customer I would say dissatisfaction and quarrels, then increase maintenance cost on the loss of the you could say opportunities what because of the delays of these projects, and safety liabilities comes majorly at it.
Got it. So now tell our attendees, how should MSMEs balance project deadlines with inspection discipline during high pressure execution phases?
See, the best practices would be, you could say, if they define hold points early, inspection points early, hold points, then use risk-based inspection schedules. That is much more better if they can do it. And then critical equipments have to be checked and verified immediately on the while of the penter, and maintenance inspection identification has to be done, which majorly I can see that doesn't happen in all the industries. Once the inspection is done, the machines, only the certificates are made, okay, bye, but not actual inspection is done on the machines. So that is the major deadlines inspections and disciplines happens.
And what technologies do you think are transforming the industrial inspection today, and how accessible are they for MSMEs?
See, modernization, if you see, everything is going up to digital world. Drones are coming in, digitalized inspection platforms are coming in, AI assistance is coming in nowadays, ultrasonic phaser array is coming in right now. So digital radiography is coming, corrosion monitoring systems have come in, IoT based conditioning monitoring systems are there, mobile inspection applications are there. So the inspections have modernized, and slowly and suddenly we are totally dependent on to the new systems which were earlier human driven. Now there are directly, you could say, AI and other digitalized of the systems we are dependent on. So this transformation helps us to grow ahead. There is more accuracy, more checkpoints. This helps us a lot.
Okay, so we were discussing about digitization. Can you also help our attendees understand how can digital inspection systems improve traceability, accountability, and compliance?
See, when you talk about digitalization, what really happens is real-time reporting happens. So nobody can skip it. If you're sitting in US or you're sitting in Germany, everything is on the spot. You don't have to be worried about it. Automation of records happens. So there is no skip of maintenance or anything. Audit trails are immediately given to us. You don't have to worry. Inspection histories are there with you. Then calibration tracking becomes easier. And all these things becomes a big thing for accountability. So this reduces human errors and improves your regulatory compliances.
And how can, or rather, what lessons can MSMEs learn from major industrial failures where inspection breakdowns were identified as root causes?
See, what I have seen is there's a warning sign. Generally, all projects get a warning sign is existed in their system. Then inspection findings are basically ignored. It's majorly ignored. Risk managements were incomplete in all the records, what generally we see. Then corrective actions were delayed. When the corrective actions are delayed, everything gets delayed. And this is the major why the industry failures are there. So you could say significant warnings were there. They have just neglected it. Then inspection findings were there. Okay, let it be there. We will not take risk. Assignments were incomplete. There is a risk, but okay, chalne do. Then corrective action takes delayed. It's like, oh yeah, choti si cheez hai, na chhod do. We'll see it later on. Or that is not our part. So with this, the major things the failure becomes bigger. From the smaller problem, it becomes a bigger problem. And when it is realized, it's too late. So if you detect it there only and you solve it there only, it is easier for everybody. And then the failures would be less.
Got it. So moving on, my next question to you is, how can organizations, ensure inspection findings are acted upon rather than simply documented?
I didn't get it again, please.
Sure. I was asking, how can organizations ensure that inspection findings are acted upon rather than simply being documented?
See, organizers should basically assign ownership for that. Then define deadlines, what we have spoken earlier, track the closure status, then escalate critical findings, which majorly we see it is suppressed, and review the corrective actions. So these are the points which, if they do it, then there is no issue.
And what role do you think inspection plays in improving safety, operational uptime, and asset life?
Effective inspections. Effective inspections, if we talk about, is like detection of any failures earlier. That would be a major point. Preventing the prevents of the failures which they have seen identified. Extending, extent of equipment failures. We can say yes. You could say about extending of equipment life, upgrading the equipments, then improve their reliability, reduce unplanned shutdowns. So all these records, if they are maintained of equipments and equipments are taken care, then there should be inspections are directly linked to your operationals only. So then there is no, you can say, improving of your safety if all these things are taken care of.
Right. And how can inspection processes strengthen customer trust and improve long-term business relationships?
See, when a customer nowadays only needs value, because there's so much competition. So they need value. So what they need when it comes to value, what you and I will look at is consistency on your quality, trustability, traceability, reliable performance. What we're looking at is, so these are the things which majorly nowadays the customer values more.
Got it. So moving on, discussing about cultural and organizational barriers, tell our attendees, according to you, what are these cultural and organizational barriers that typically prevent effective inspection practices?
See, the common barriers are, you said, production fit mindset, what we have right now, lack of management, you could say lack of management communications or commitments, you could say majorly of commitments, then insufficient training, then poor communication with the management and the processing team, then fear of reporting issues. This is a major thing what I have seen into the industry, and scheduling pressure to get the job done. This is the major, you could say, important than buying the new technology.
So why did you mention fear of reporting issues as a major challenge?
See, what happens is nowadays when you get these projects, so there are lots of delays which has happened. It can be because of design, because of client, sourcing of the raw material or anything. So what happens is, if I report this issue, it will be documented, the project will get delayed. So let's skip that thing. So when you skip this thing, thinking it's a small matter, we'll not think, it becomes a big one.
Right.
See, so you take a cut short, you try to save money onto it, and but in the end, you feel it is short. But for the end project or the end product, it becomes a very big issue. And that time the rework happens and the cost goes up. So, generally in any working style, a management and the working team will never have they will have a management representative. So there have to be an open discussion. And if that is there, then it is easier.
Right. So what are the early warning signs that you have seen that indicate reliability risks are building within an ongoing project?
See, you could say increasing of non-confirmation, repetitive of defects. Then you can say calibration to overdue points, which are majorly I can see suppliers quality issue, That's why we were talking about that suppliers, has to be inspected and everything. Then suppliers' quality issues, major part which is being facing, missed inspections, for just cutting short. Then growing punch point list becomes huge because of these small things which we have been done. So the rising maintenance compliance. So these all things basically increases the risk are building up, we could say.
So now my last question to you is, if an MSME wanted to improve project reliability within the next 6 months, what inspection-led interventions could deliver the highest impact?
Highest impact, if you look at the implementation of risk-based inspection and testing plan, which is majorly required for all the industries right now. Strengthening of the vendor inspections. If the vendors are kept on check and the vendors keep on bringing up the feedbacks, it will be much more better. Right now, what happens in the industry, only one-way communication happens. I want this material, give me this material. But if there is a new material coming out, the vendors should be able to easily communicate. We can save much cost and other kind of things. So this helps us helps in the future projects. Then ensure the calibration of all the machines, equipments being used have been taken care of. Introducing of structure of NDT of critical equipment should be there. NDT, which is majorly neglected, it is taken as a part of a project, but it has to be implemented on a proper cost. Then tracking of defects, and you could say through inspection data and seeing what went wrong into it. Then conducting a root cause failure analysis has to be done, which is majorly required for any kind of business to go ahead in a big scale. Then digitalization of inspection records and reporting. Once the digitalization of reporting and inspection happens, everything can be seen by everybody. So there is no delays. And establishing management review for critical findings, which is majorly there and it has to be implemented. All these things we have been doing, but now this has to be automized. And if these things are done, then nothing is there. Everything can be done easily.
Right. So with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for sharing your detailed insights on improving industrial project reliability through inspection with our attendees. We are certain and we're 100% sure that they must have learned a lot through your session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
For attendees who are online, if you'd like to view the current episode or if you've missed any part of this important episode, please go on YouTube, type JSW One MSME and you will find all our episodes uploaded there. Thank you once again, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless you.